welcome to Tarunayas. Today we will be discussing current affairs from 14th of October 2022. So let's see the first news of the day. The first news is about Kurdish community. Recently the Kurdish community, they have protested against the death of this young lady named Mahasabha Amini. Please correct this spelling. This is Mahasabha Amini. She died because of the strict moral policing in Iran. Now what happens more in Iran, ever since the Islamic revolution of 1970s, there have been a strict moral public code which everyone has to follow. So women, they are strictly are to cover their head using Islamic headscarves. So this young lady Mahasabha Amini, who belonged to Kurdish community, was traveling and she was stopped by the moral police in Iran, which led to her death. So the Kurdish community have been they have been brought to highlight after they started this nationwide protest against the death of Mahasabha Amini. Now let us see who Kurds are. Basically, they are the ethno-linguistic group in Iran, and they are spread across borders of 4 countries, and these countries are Syria, Iraq, Iran, and Turkey, and this is Armenia. Basically, Kurds are the Sunni Muslims and they live in Shia dominated Iran. Alright, now because of this differences, Kurds have been facing discrimination, and they have been economically neglected. Therefore, Kurds demand for either the autonomy in their respective states, in respective countries, or they demand for Kurdistan. Kurds in Iran, they form approximately 10% of the population, that is approximately from 8 million to 10 million, and they are economically neglected and they are entrenched in poverty. Therefore, there have been a wide demand for the establishment of this Kurdistan, or the greater autonomy is to be granted. You can see this is the area that forms the Kurdistan according to the nationalism, that Kurds nationalism. Now let us look at the second news of the day. The second news is the Mahakal Lok Corridor. Basically, in the Ujjain's Mahakaleshwar temple, which is also one of the 12 Jyotirlings. Now, these Jyotirlings were asked in the UPSC previous year questions. So, my suggestion would be that you just go through the list of the 12 Jyotirlings that are present in India, and Ujjain Mahakaleshwar temple is one of the 12 Jyotirlings in India. Now let us look at the project. Basically, it's a corridor which has been inaugurated by the Prime Minister of India, and the project, that is Mahakal Mandir Parisar Vistar Yojana, it consists of the beautification program and expansion of the premises, so as to reduce the congestion around the Mahakaleshwar temple, which is the major attraction for the followers of the Hinduism, the Shivite sect, and also the sadhus. So there have been development of 2 corridor, which consists of 2 entrances, that is the Nandi Dwar and the Pinaki Dwar. So you can look at this corridor. This is Mahakaleshwar temple, and the corridor looks something like this, and there is a idol of Lord Shiva in the center of this pond. And it's a 900-meter long pedestrian corridor that has been built, which connects it to the 108 murals and 93 statues of the Lord Shiva along its way. Now they have been designed along its way. Now let us come to the third news of the day. The third news is about the Geospatial Information Congress that was recently addressed by the Prime Minister, which was held in Hyderabad in the year 2022, recently. Right. So now let's talk about what this what this Geospatial Information Congress is. When we speak of the geospatial, that means anything which is related to the earth, the spatial information, the information regarding the space. For example, the Google Maps, they work on this geospatial information. So this congress was held recently, which was addressed by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, why this congress was held and what is basically the goal of this congress? The first is to promote a broad dialogue on global geospatial information management. Now, every day we see a new technology is developing, and every day we see that the geospatial information is becoming of utmost importance when we speak of the development of the 5G technologies, artificial intelligence, when we speak of the smart cities and smart regulation of the traffic and management of the cities. So geospatial information consolidation management becomes important, and hence this congress of geospatial information is of utmost relevance when it comes to the global management of the geospatial information. All the relevant government, non-government, academic and private sector stakeholders were present at this dialogue, and the theme of the dialogue was Geo enabling the global village, and no one should be left behind. It was hosted by the Ministry of Science and Technology of the Government of India. Now let us see what this United Nations World Geospatial Information Congress is. This is in the year 2000, the 2022 conference. It was organized by the UNDESA, which is United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, and it is conducted every 4 years. The objective is to enhance the international collaboration among the member states and the various relevant stakeholders in the geospatial information management and the capacities. The first world geospatial information, it was organized by China in the year 2018. Now let's move on to the fourth news of the day. The fourth news talks about the mountain goats. Basically, the snow leopards, they are known as the mountain goats because of their fur, which help them get disguise or camouflage in the snowy mountains. Therefore, they are known as the mountain ghost. Now, why snow leopards were in news recently? If we see that snow leopards are found in the mountainous regions, they are found in the Trans Himalayas and the Himalayas region of India. Recently, there was a survey conducted in Arunachal Pradesh, Namdapa National Park, so as to estimate the number of snow leopard. Now, India also runs a program called Project Snow Leopard, just like Project Tiger, Project Dolphin, Project Hangul, Project Elephant, Project Crocodile. So we have Project Snow Leopard also. Snow leopard, which is basically to conserve their population. Now, any animal which is on the verge of extinction, the major reason of its extinction is the habitat. The habitat destruction of any animal or plant is the major reason why the animal or plant would go extinct. Now, when it comes to the protection and conservation of the animal, it is the habitat conservation and protection that we need to keep in mind. Therefore, the protection of habitat of snow leopard becomes important, and in order to look at the range of the snow leopard, we have to have a survey so as to estimate the number of the snow leopard. Therefore, this survey was conducted in Arunachal Pradesh. The IUCN status of snow leopard is vulnerable. They were moved to this vulnerable category. They were moved to this vulnerable category, and they are found in the Himalayas and the Trans-Himalayan regions over 2,700 meter above the sea level. Now, climate change is also posing another challenge to the snow leopards, and it is because of the climate change that their habitat the expansion of their habitat, or the expanse of their habitat, is declining, right? So this was about the snow leopard. So you can look at the picture of the snow leopard. Basically they belong to the cat family. Their fur is white to gray in color with black patches like this, which helps them disguise in snow, and they are vulnerable in the IUCN Red List. Now let's talk about the Namdapar National Park a little bit. Here you can look at the location of the Namdapar National Park, that it is located in Arunachal Pradesh, and this is the area. And on various altitudes, different climatic conditions can be found in Namdapar National Park. We can have this alpine, then we can have deciduous, we can have evergreen forest, like that. So it is the special location of this Namdapar National Park. It is located in the easternmost village of the state of Arunachal Pradesh, and it is the only park in India where all 4 species of the cats are found, that is tiger, leopard, snow leopard, and clouded leopard. And Namdapar National Park is also the park where the only ape of India is found, that is the Hollock gibbon. Alright, so now let's move on to the 5th news of the day. In today's newspaper, I have taken it from the Hindu. In today's newspaper, ISRO's next generation launch vehicle may assume the role of PSLV. Now, if we talk about the PSLV, then PSLV is well known as the working horse of ISRO. Now, ISRO, in order to have a cost-effective 3-stage reusable lift vehicle with a payload capacity of 10 tons, then it has to replace PSLV with the next generation launch vehicle, which not only will have a simple design, but it will also be cost effective. And because it will be reusable, therefore ISRO will have a commercial advantage over other commercial agencies in the world, space agencies in the world. It was reported that next generation launch vehicle will have a semi-cryogenic propulsion with booster stages, and it is believed that it will be able to carry the 10 tons of payload to geotransfer orbit, and it may even carry higher payload when it comes to the lower Earth orbit. So let's see, and this I already have talked about, that it is going to have a simple design which will allow for the bulk manufacturing, and there will be subsystem stages, and minimal turnaround time will be there. It will basically increase the modularities in the system. If a design is simple, then it can be modulated and it can be modified in various ways. So this is what ISRO wants. Now let's see, because the next generation launch vehicle is going to replace PSLV, so we must see what PSLV is. PSLV, like I said, it is also known as the workhorse of ISRO, and it is the 3rd generation launch vehicle which have 4 stages, and it is the first one to carry a liquid stage, which is also known as the Vikas engine. Now these are the description of the 4 stages of the PSLV. The first stage uses a solid strap-on booster with solid rope motor. The second stage is the liquid engine stage, which is called as the Vikas engine. And the third stage is again a solid fuel stage, which is utilized after the space vehicle has passed, or you can say has escaped the atmosphere of Earth. So after the atmospheric stage, the third stage solid fuel is utilized, and fourth stage is the uppermost stage, and it comprises of the liquid engines. The PSLV is found in various variants. It is PSLV G, PSLV CA, and PSLV XL. It can carry the payload of 1750 kilograms to sun synchronous orbit, and it can also carry a payload of approximately 1400 kg to geosynchronous and geotransfer orbit. Now this is the picture of PSLV. You can look at this. These are the strap-on engines. 6 strap-on engines are there. This is the first stage, which is also known as the core stage. The second stage, the Vikas engine, which is the liquid stage here. The third stage, again the solid, and then we have got this fourth stage, and this is heat shield, and this is the area where the satellite is to be installed. Now let us move on and see the various orbits. Now we have got this geostationary orbit. The first that we are going to talk about is the geostationary orbit. Now what is this geostationary orbit? Approximately at the height of 35,000 kilometer from the Earth's surface. Geostationary basically means that a satellite would appear, the satellite, it will have the same rotation, the time period of the rotation as that of the Earth. Alright, so that means it will pass through the same location exactly at that same time, because it will then be, the satellite is not stationary per se, but the orbit is synchronized in such a way that it will move around the Earth as per the rotation of the Earth. So it will seem to be stationary, right? Then we have this polar orbit. Now the satellites at the polar orbits move like this. So they pass through the pole periodically. And then we have the sun synchronous orbit. So this is the sun synchronous orbit. So let's say if this is the Earth, so the sun synchronous orbit is something like this, right? This is the sun synchronous orbit. All right. So now what this sun synchronous orbit means? It means that if we look at the satellite, suppose if we look at the satellite, it is synchronized with the position of the sun. So that's why it is known as the sun synchronous orbit. So I think that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching Tarun IS. Have a nice day.